The CB500X brings some adventure to Honda's range of 500cc parallel twins, and this 2016 model has received a few simple updates designed to gently refine it. So this updated bike now has an LED rear light assembly and an LED headlight, together with a new plastic surround to create a more pointed, sharper looking front end, although visually there's not a vast difference between this and the model it replaces. To my eyes, it still looks like a well-styled adventure bike, and it's one that's accessible to A2 licence holders for £5,599. The beige/brown colour of our test bike wasn't great. Honda can call it matte fresco brown all it wants, but when I look at the tank and the accompanying orange stripe, all I can think of is a set of curtains from the 1970s. If I was spending my own money on this, I'd go straight for either the red or white paint options, but perhaps I'm just not adventurous enough. But when riding the 500X, I feel pretty adventurous because it positioned me in a comfortable upright position with the tall, wide bars falling comfortably to hand. It does lack the same presence as bigger, more expensive adventure bikes, but it does still put the rider in that comfortable and commanding posture, and it assured me that no journey or errand was too much trouble or too far away, and I like that in a motorbike. I also like the low 810mm seat height and easily manageable 196 kilo weight. The controls and switches are all nice quality as well, and they feel like typically reliable Honda items. The new adjustable brake lever is a welcome addition too, but the button for the horn is in a location that makes it easy to beep other road users when going for the indicator, and there must have been countless times when I approached a junction, bibbing the horn, with drivers around me wondering what the f I was doing. The basic digital dash is easy to read, and it contains a fuel gauge, rev counter, speed in the middle, plus the time and function display, which includes a couple of trip meters and fuel consumption. There's no gear indicator though. The plastic of the screen is a kind of green-brown colour, and it looks almost as if there's a protective film that needs removing, but there isn't. The orange backlight isn't that nice either. I'm sure it's all meant to be a subtle reminder of adventure, but I thought it looked a bit rubbish. This 2016 model has a new 100mm taller screen, and it did a good job of keeping wind and rain off my chest. I could feel the wind hitting the area just above my visor, but the screen does offer enough protection to take the edge off the motorway slog. And the CB500X will happily handle a hefty journey, courtesy of its 471cc twin-cylinder engine, which makes 46.9 horsepower and 31.7 pounds-foot of torque. Those numbers might not stun, but there's enough power available for easy motorway overtakes, and it will cruise along happily at 70 to 80 miles an hour. On fun, twisty roads, maintaining momentum requires the right gear and revs, with optimum power sitting between 5 and 8,000 RPM. And the engine works in a similar vein to the CB500X's ergonomics. It's an ally, and although it sometimes needs to be worked hard, it is capable and willing and responds smoothly and predictably. It's got enough about it to make the 500X fun on a country road, functional on a motorway, and there's enough shove to make it adept at carving through the city. The CB500X's tank now holds 17.5 litres of petrol, and the bike has also been treated to some suspension tweaks. So now the conventional front fork has adjustable spring preload, and the shock has been given new dampening settings. The front end is very soft though, and although the ride is comfortable and the bike tracks the road nicely, the forks were all too ready to plunge through their travel at the hint of front brake. A more supportive fork would make the 500X feel better balanced and more confident. Speaking of brakes, it's a simple but effective setup. Stopping power from the single 2-piston front Nissan sliding caliper and 320mm disc is good, and the front brake has plenty of good feel too. The front caliper feels like it bites well as well, but I think that the soft front suspension accentuates the feeling of initial bite. The Dunlop Tramax dual purpose tyres are okay. They gave me all the grip I asked for, but compared to road specific tyres, they are a compromise, fitted to give the CB500X some additional off-road credibility. And how many owners are actually going to take their bikes off-road? I guess very few. I'd never do any serious unpaved adventuring in the 500X because the suspension would never handle it. If I owned this bike, I'd fit some decent sports touring rubber for improved grip, feel and stability on the road. Aside from the two soft front suspension, the CB500X gets so much right. First, there's the price. Just over £5,500 is cheap for an adventure bike, and although the 500X is built to a price, the essential ingredients are all present, and I never found myself wanting for more. It's great that it's available to A2 licence holders, because who said adventure bikes should be limited to lanky rich people? And its figures like the weight, engine size, seat height and price are its USP. Finally, it's just a very capable bike, and it was unfazed by motorway work, town riding and B-road blasting. If you're a new rider with a burning sense of adventure, the CB500X has you covered.